Okay, coaches, before we head off to practice, there are 10 things that we can't forget during practice. Number 10, focus no more than 20 seconds per play during team period. Don't overcoach. What do I mean by that? Is during team period, don't be twirling our whistle, run a play, let the guys lethargically come back to the huddle and run another play. Fast tempo. During that 20 seconds, run a play, coach a kid back up to the huddle, get back in, call the next play, get ready to go. Number 9, work out on all your blocking schemes before team period. What does that mean is that we don't want to freeze when we've got the whole team in front of us and we're looking to constantly rep our plays. We don't want to stop and as a coaching staff, analyze our blocking scheme. If we see that we're not blocking properly a certain defense, that's something that should be addressed 2 ways. One, after practice at our coaches meeting, make a note of it on our practice plan, and we bring it up then there with our rest of our coaching staff, or work it through during our group work time. Don't use the team time. When you've got everybody there and you're on all cylinders, rep out the plays. Number 8, when special teams, if you are at your level and you're using the kicking game, make sure that all kickoff returns and punts are caught in the air. It's just a simple little goal. You want it in the game, do it in practice. Here's a simple little structure. Use your best athlete as the holder for the place kicker. He'll make plays for you. So when you're practicing your special teams, grab your best athlete, the surest hands. If it's a bad snap, he scoops and scores, he's able to go there. Use your kid with what I like to call FBI, football intelligence. Use that kid. He'll understand the schemes, what's going on. He's your best athlete. He can make a guy miss and hopefully get you in for some extra points. Number 6, spend 15 minutes on each special team unit per week. What do I mean by that? Spend 15 minutes teaching punt, 15 on punt return, 15 on kickoff, 15 on kickoff return, and 15 on PAT field goal. Now, that is all predicated on how much you, at the age level you're coaching, use the kicking game. Some youth leagues, depending on the age, will only use kickoffs, will not use extra points, will only not have a live punt, so there's no rush on it. So again, use this, break this aspect down of this 15-minute time frame on the percentage of the special teams you use with your age group. If you're coaching your team and you use live kicks, kickoff returns are live, punt returns are live, and there's a rush on PAT field goal, make sure you spend some time doing it. If you're only using a certain aspect of it and there's no rush, then you can only devote maybe 7 or 8 minutes, half of that time frame. 5, we want to teach clock management. Again, we're teaching the game of football to these young athletes. Have them understand what a 2-minute situation is. Have them understand, hey, we're down by 6. We need a touchdown. There's a minute and a half left in the game. The plays you're going to call as a coach, the plays they're going to have to execute as a player are a little bit different when you're ahead by 6. So teach them that. Have them understand that. Maybe it's a fun tempo changing drill you do, and during team period where you blow the whistle and you got a coach with a stopwatch, line the ball up. Offense, we're down by 3. We need a touchdown or a field goal. Touchdown to win, field goal to tie. We're on the 35-yard line going in. We've got a minute and a half left to go. Coach Jones, you've got the clock. Keep us on clock management. Allen and Ty, you guys are the yard markers or our first down markers. Defense, try and stop us. Great tempo changing drill, but you're teaching them clock management. The spike play. Why do we need to have the spike play, Coach? Well, it freezes the clock. When the clock is moving, it allows us to get set and give us as a coaching staff and you as a player some time to reflect on the best play to run it there in that situation. Teach them about clock management. Form tackling. Spend 10 minutes on each practice on form tackling, whether it's an offensive or a defensive emphasis day. If you're an offense, you're going to turn the ball over. You're going to have to tackle somebody that's just intercepted or picked up a fumble. Second, obviously if it's defense, we want to spend a little bit more than 10 minutes a day on tackling. Form tackling is the key fundamental that you as a coach have to stress. So spend 10 minutes a day doing some type of drill. It may be just 10 minutes on form fitting. It may be 10 minutes on a pure station. tackling station. Do something every day on form tackling. 3, make sure that the quarterbacks, centers, long snappers, and even the holders get enough reps so they can master their timing. Here's one thing we also have to worry about is that John may be our starting center this week, but he's got the chicken box next week, and Scott, who's our starting guard, has now become center. Well, Scott is a little bit taller than John, so now my quarterback has to adjust on the depth of his stance and where the snap's going to be. So take a minute, maybe pre-practice during a special teams period, and line up all your linemen, line up all 2 or 3 of your quarterbacks, and just have them snap to every kid, and just rotate right down the line, almost like an assembly line of snappers. And just 3 snaps, move on. 3, 4 snaps, move on. If you play in fair weather condition, have a couple junk balls, maybe from last season. Soak them in some water. Have the kids practice snapping a wet ball, a bad ball, okay? Same with long snappers. Have them work on the timing with a heavy wet ball. Have them snap that. Have your holders get used to taking a snap with a heavy and wet ball. Number 2, don't always practice your plays during team period against your own defense. Scout your opponents. Unless in certain youth leagues, some are only required to run A and B defensive fronts. If that's the case, great. If everybody's running the same thing. But if you're running and you're coming up against a multiple of different defenses, 4-3, a 4-4, a 5-3, a 5-2, use those defensive fronts throughout your practice. Don't just run against yours. You're not playing yourself. You're playing your opponents. If you have a chance to scout, find out what other teams are doing. Prepare your kids the best to meet the expectations of you set to win the game. Coach, last but not least, the number one thing we can't forget to do at practice is have fun. Football is fun. Coaching youth football is fun. You're going to spend 2.5 hours a day running around with 8, 10, 12, 14-year-old kids. You're going to revert back to when you were a kid, what you got out of this game. Have fun with it. If you're organized, you're efficient, you have a good tempo, you'll have fun because you're going to come walking off that field going, that was a great practice. We were well organized, the drills went great, the kids learned something, they had fun, they're coming back tomorrow. More importantly, come game time, if they've had a positive experience all week long, they've developed because of your organization and the amount of stuff you were able to teach them during the time frame, you have a better chance to win come game day. And that's the ultimate fun.